Okay, so let's catch up to everything we've done so far and talk a little bit about organization as well. So what I do for each new project is I make a new folder on my desktop, call it the name of the project, and then I organize everything in there. Then I make a folder for the pics that I'm going to use on the website and for citations and stuff like that. Make one for vids if I make videos. In this case, I'm making case study videos, but also I made a video for the YouTube channel. And then I just take one on Mac. It's called like text edit or something like that, just whatever word processing thing you use. And I like to keep all of my notes there. And everything's organized. I got it. I can refer back to it. It's not hard to find stuff. Okay, so that's on my desktop. And every time I, have something new that I want, whether it's maybe a copy or a draft of something or a new page or something like that, I can just put it into that folder. Okay, so here's my notes. All right, feel free to do something similar if you want, but I don't like to go. People are always asking, well, what type of spreadsheet should I use, and what type of bookkeeping, and what do you use for influence and all that stuff. I just kind of want to show you totally behind the scenes how I'm doing this project step by step and how I organize it and all of that. I try to do it in a way that is helpful and organized and clutter free, but that doesn't take a long time or cost money, to buy an extra program or anything like that. So I just do this, put the name at the top, and just make things nice and easy. I always start with a goal. What am I trying to do with this project? That's what I would like to do eventually, 5K per month. Who knows if I'll hit that? Who knows? Okay. As of right now, remember, this guy was pretty much throwing his checkbook at me at the birthday party after we talked for hours about what I do and what he does, and he basically sold himself on I'm the guy he needs. But like I tell you guys, I kind of did the push away. I was like, well, let me kind of do some research, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to get some stuff going. I wanted to make sure that I had time to do it, and I wanted to get the ball rolling because this stuff does take a while, and I knew that he's already running AdWords, so there's probably not a lot, if anything, that I'm going to do with AdWords because he's already paying 6-7K per month, and he needs the organic, okay? And I didn't want to take 3K from him or whatever and then have him be waiting 60 days to see something happen. So I kind of pushed him away. I wanted to come back and impress him and really have something for him when I came back to talk numbers. Okay, so as of right now, this is just a fish on the hook, but I haven't reeled him in yet. Results in advance. And, I'm putting my time, my energy, my money, my focus where my mouth is, and I'm getting him going, and I'm going to prove results in advance before we start talking numbers. Okay? And it might be, realistically, this might be a deal where it starts off at 2 or 3K per month and it works up to 5. Okay? There's a small chance that maybe I don't get this guy and I end up going with another guy. But this is just real life stuff. So you'll see how it plays out. Okay, so I have my goal. I got the website. And it's important now that we're going to be doing Google My Business. So you're going to submit to Google Maps, and we're going to do citations. This is also important. Have an editor that doesn't do any kind of weird formatting or anything. Use a plain font like Arial. And I want to get everything perfect on here, and then this will be my resource, and I'll copy and paste from here to do the next few steps. It's important because your information, your name, address, phone number, like Dan teaches you in the training, it's got to be the same exactly all throughout. So goal, website URL, address. Okay, obviously I got the UPS address. You saw that in the last few videos, so I wrote it out. Okay, here's the exact address, even stuff like this. You don't have to put a comma. I chose to make it easier to read. Comma, I spelt out sweet. You could do STE. Probably could have put a comma after there as well, or a dash in between them. But this is how I did it. So now this is what we have to stick with. Okay. It has to be exactly, you can't put RD one time and STE one time and ROAD the next. It's got to be exactly the same, down to the exact character, down to the exact capitalization, everything. Got my tracking phone number, got my expenses. We're going to talk about citations in this one, and I will explain this. So and I paid for my Weebly domain and hosting for 2 years. You don't have to do that. I like to just get that out of the way. So speaking of expenses, here's what I'm at so far. 100. This is for 2 years of the domain and hosting. I got one image that I use at the top of the website. It was like $2 for my stock photo. Call Sling, when you set up a new number, it charges you $1, and you don't get charged again for 30 days. So if you ever see a $1 charge on your Call Sling, remember that's for a new number setup. That's all I got in that so far. UPS box was 80 bucks. And then Citations, I went with the X. I'm going to show you that in a second. They're the most expensive. I don't care who you use. You can try outsourcing on Fiverr. You can do it yourself, so you do not have to pay 500 bucks to get Citations done. Like I've said from the start, if you listen to our calls a year and a half ago, every time I've done one of these projects A to Z, I've used Yext. I always like to go with the best and pay for the best, and I feel like their stuff is instant, it's accurate, they get it verified right away, and it gets the ball rolling. To me, speed is everything. If I don't see something happening, I'll get bored and probably forget about the project. So I need to see stuff going. So I was willing to pay for that. If you are not, if that's not in the cards for you, fine. You don't have to pay. You could do this for free. You could outsource it to the neighbor as long as they understand it's got to be the same every single time for, $2 per citation or whatever. So, this is my biggest expense by far, and you don't even have to do this. And this I could have just paid Weebly for like 6 months, and it would have been like, a fourth that much. Okay, but even so, worst case scenario, I still got less than $1,000 in this project, and this is the type of money I think I'm going to make for it, so I'll pay that all day, every day. This is, my potential business partners' details. And then I like to do a timeline, just real quick, chronological order, so I can always refer back and have a good idea of how long stuff takes. And maybe I do something slightly different the next time, and then I can compare it. Okay, well, time number 2, I did this, and these are the results I got. Maybe there's something to that, all right? So you always want to be able to look back at your notes. And so every time I do something, I just add it here. So I started the project on 3/14. I purchased my phone number using the training, just like you guys do, from us on 3/16. I put about 8 hours into the website, like I showed you a video or two ago. The homepage, some of you might be curious. I say shoot for 1,500. Mine was only 950, but I think 1,000 is very good. I plan on adding a little bit more to it once I find some more keywords. It indexed on 3/18. I think I had the website, the homepage, the way I wanted it on like 3/15, so it took about 3 full days to index. I think that it usually indexes faster if you would add more pages right away. When it's just one page, I do think it takes a couple extra days to index, so that's something to keep in mind. Then I added the about, because it wasn't indexing for a couple of days, so I was like, well, maybe I should go give it a little bit more attention, like I always tell you guys. So I added an about page, a contact page, privacy. Actually, I don't even have privacy on it yet, but I may or may not add that for now. Let's just say I don't have that. I added an about page, a contact page, so it's 3 pages so far, and I did those pages on 3/19, actually after it indexed. I purchased my UPS box. You just saw that on 3/19, and now I've got the brand, I've got the tracking phone number, and I've got the address. Now I am in the pool decking business. This is my business now, okay? So now I'm ready to show the internet that I'm in business. So what do we do now? We want to get in all the local directories, the most important of which is Google My Business. I followed Dan's training to the T, and I specifically went through our training as opposed to just going to what I know you're supposed to do, to make sure that there wasn't anything we needed to update or that had changed. And literally from the phone number to the Google My Business, everything was exactly the same. And Dan does a great job of training it, okay? So I followed Dan's training on week 3, I believe it is, on the Google My Business. He has you start filling out the Google My Business and then pause it and then get a UPS. I knew that was coming, and obviously if you're in VIP, you've done at least one of these. It's probably easiest just to get your UPS box out of the way and then come and do your Google My Business, so you can do it all in one shot. So Google My Business, there's nothing to really add there. I followed Dan's training. I uploaded as many pics as I could. In this case, I was lucky that I was able, since I'm pretty sure I'm going to work with this guy and he wants me to work with him, I just used all of his pics. I took screenshots of all of the pictures he had on his website, and then I saved them as keyword names. So I think he had a ton. I think I had close to 30 pictures, okay? And if you don't have 30, that's fine. Start with 5, start with 10. Try to get at least 10 to 15, honestly, when you set up this. And like Dan says, you want to fill it out completely before you say, yes, verify, send me the postcard. If you mess up when you enter the address and you say, no, it's none of these listings like Dan shows, and then you say, yes, verify it, then it's going to trigger the postcard to be sent, and then you go in and add your pictures and fill out the rest of the profile, you will probably get manually reviewed, and it might get marked as spam and denied. So Dan points that out in the training, but this is just me reiterating that. Make sure you say no, verify later when Dan tells you to. You'll see it clear as day, but make sure you don't mess up there. And then go and add all of your pictures and fill it out completely. Fill out your hours and make sure. So, okay, let's say you don't have a business owner. What do you do for all of your pictures? Well, my wife just went through one and she had the same question. I said, find some photos. Go to Flickr and get ones that have no license restrictions. So we found ones that, they said they're free to use, even commercially. You can edit them, you can do anything. And I think we just have to put something on our website that says like Creative Commons license or something like that. So in a future video, I can show you how to do that. But you can go get free ones. Same thing, I like to take screenshots, save them as keyword names, cycle through the keywords. Okay, so what did I do for pictures? Well, let's look at my pictures. Oops. I just meant to bring this over here. Pool Deck Phoenix. Let's open this up. Pics. Okay. I took pictures of all of his, and then he had like a caption on his page of what they were, so then I kind of called it that and just added stuff. So, let's see if it... Acrylic lace pool deck and stamped concrete combo. Acrylic lace pool deck finish, Mesa, Arizona. Acrylic lace pool remodel in Arizona. Anthem Community Center pool redecking, Arizona. That's a little bit off the screen. Broom finish concrete around pool, Chandler, Arizona. Cantera stone pool deck resurfacing, Arizona. Decorative pool deck drain, Phoenix, Arizona. Do you see how I'm purposely cycling through all my different keyword variations? I'm including Arizona. I'm including AZ. I'm including Phoenix. I'm also including the main Phoenix suburbs that he gets business in. Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa. I'm including names that are very much relevant to the product, to his service. Acrylic lace, that might be something that people who are in the know search for. Pool deck, pool decks, pool decking, pool redecking. Okay, if you go through all this, you can see it's not, I didn't spend much time or thought. I just, I haven't used Gilbert. I'll stuff Gilbert, Arizona in there. I haven't used granite. I'll use granite. Phoenix, Arizona. I haven't used AZ, so I'll use AZ. I had never used Scottsdale. I've never used Pavers, so we'll call this one Pavers, Scottsdale, Arizona. You see what I'm saying there? So the more pictures you have, the more complete your profile is. The more likely it is to beat the competition. And then remember, Google's going to read the title and alt text of all these pictures. So if you have them saved as keywords and you're smart about it and cycle through and get a lot of them, you can get a lot of random traffic, I believe, for people who are searching for this stuff, whereas the other business owners, they don't have hardly any pictures, and the ones they do have aren't keyword optimized or any of that. So I took all of his pictures. Again, if you don't have any, go to iStock Photo, go to Dollar Photo Club, go to Flickr. Flickr, there's a lot of free stuff on there, and you can get ones that they allow you to use for free, and you can even use them commercially, meaning you can use them to make money and promote websites with, which is what my wife just did. But same thing, I think she got about 15 pics, and she's in the tree trimming space. So tree trimming, tree care, tree service, Phoenix, Mesa, Arizona, AZ, Gilbert, throw in a zip code if you want to get crazy. So the pictures is really the name of the game. It's very important for the Google My Business listing, okay? And I save them all in one folder called pics, so they're all there. I use them on the website, and I can use them on my Google local listing, and then I can use them for citations. So it's very important that you just get organized, get your stuff done ahead of time. You got your tracking number, you got your website, you went and got your UPS address. Now it's all nice and neat for you on this thing. Now we're ready to just copy and paste and upload. When you do this in the proper order, it makes these next few steps so fast and easy. When you don't, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay? So the next important thing that I want to point out, like Dan says in the training, I made a new Gmail for this. If you know the business owner's name, you put it under theirs, yours, doesn't really matter. For some reason, I used his name. pooldeckphoenix@gmail. Wrote the date of birth in case I would ever forget my password or something. I don't know if they'd ever ask you to verify that. But I set up a Gmail and eventually a Yext and a Facebook. And with the Gmail comes a YouTube. So all of my accounts basically are under this information. I use the same name, same fake date of birth, same Gmail, same password, and that's in there, right? Because 6 months from now you might forget, oh, what was my Facebook login for this person? And I opened up new accounts on all of these, as opposed to just adding another page that I own on Facebook. I like to do it where it's under a new account. So I signed up as a new person, new email, new password, and then I created a page from that new account. Okay. Also important, I said that I like to check my rankings maybe like once a week. Try not to do it any more than that. So of course, when something indexes, I always like to see where it's at when it indexes. So I do a site search for after I get the website published, once or twice a day until I see it in the index. So that's how I knew it took a few days to index. Then I saw it in there. Okay, so now it's indexed. So now I went to Google and did a search for my keyword term, because I want to know where it starts at. That's important. Even though I knew I wouldn't be ranking on page 1 for it, I wanted to know where it was at. And this is a very good sign. So my main keyword is pool deck resurfacing Phoenix, and I was on page 3, spot number 24. So just over halfway up page 3, spot number 24. And that was on 318. It indexed on 318, and the very first day it got in Google's index, remember, it was a one-page homepage at that time, 950 words, didn't have the about or the contact yet, and I was already on page 3. Okay? Now, why do you think that's a very good sign? Any project you do where when you hit publish on day 1, it's on page 2, 3, 4, even 5, that's a very good sign. Okay? And yeah, usually it's just a sign of it's not that crazy competitive, and or people in that niche just haven't put a lot of time and effort into SEO. So that's definitely what that's a sign of. But it's also a sign of Google likes my website. There's that too. If you don't do things right on the website, if you don't, every little thing adds up, like the domain name, the title, the keywords, the length of the content, the local phone number, mentioning all the different suburbs and mentioning Phoenix, Arizona a lot. LSI keywords, latent semantic indexing, which just means like synonyms and words closely related to your main words. So I used on that homepage, it was 1,000 words, but not all 1,000 words are equal. Mine, I feel like, has such a good mix of pool deck, pool decking, pool decks, pool redecking, resurfacing, surface. It's got such a good mix that I think the on-page optimization is so dialed in, but not overdone. And then I had, remember, like 30 pictures that were keyword optimized as well. I don't know how Weebly does their coding and stuff. If I know with WordPress, Google would see all of the titles and alt text for those pics and stuff like that. But when I uploaded to Weebly, I do believe I put in an alt text for all of them. Or I don't know, because I did slideshow, and it might not have given me the option for slideshow. I'm not totally sure on that, but I know that they were all saved as keyword names before I uploaded them. And I got to think that helps, depending on how Weebly does their coding. But having all of that multimedia, having a nice header, keywords in the right areas, all of those things help. So it's probably not crazy competitive, and my site was on point, so that's a good sign. So I know that, I knew I would dominate regardless, not to be cocky, because I know what I'm doing, and I know I'm going to follow through, and I know that these people do not know what they're doing. But this is a really good sign that it might actually happen pretty quick if I'm already on page 3. All right, so we are down to here. Okay. And so now you see my organization, my thought process, my steps. This is how I would do it each time. Let's just take a quick look at my Google My Business, and then let's talk about citations and go from there. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google My Business. Remember, I have not received my postcard yet that I know of. It might be at the UPS box already. I don't know. But I'm signed into my Gmail. And then if we go to Google My Business, it should ask me to log in if the page ever loads. Come on. There we go. So sign in. Okay, and it's very important here. You requested a verification postcard on 3/19/2016. Google My Business 3/19. Okay, so I'm not like making this stuff up. This is the exact time frame. Most postcards arrive within 5 days. I also just got an email. This is something you might want to watch out for too, from Google My Business today. And it says it should arrive within 1 to 2 weeks. I think that this is probably a sign that it's been sent. And I'll bet you I would have it by tomorrow or Thursday, maybe even today. So what I'm going to do, because this is, and if you're ever out of city, I'm going to call them and just ask if they'll look in my box and see if there's a postcard from Google, and if so, if they'll give me the code on it, you know. And what's worse, they can say, no, I won't do that for you. Okay, please. And then if worse comes to worse, I'll drive in. But that's all I need from that mailbox is that one stupid postcard. And rather than drive 30 minutes into Phoenix, I'm just going to call and see if they'll look at it for me. The guys were super nice when I set it up, so I imagine they'd be willing to help me out. Okay? So that's that. You can see here, this is what it looks like, but this is very important. Until you get that postcard, this is all I wanted to say here. Do not come in here and hit this edit button. If you go and edit your listing before it's verified, before you do this enter code and it's verified, it may very well trigger a manual review, and that's when you see people complain about it in the group. That's usually what they do. They're like, oh, I wanted to add a picture, or oh, I did this or that. All right? But you can see here, Pool Deck Phoenix, I used the same description. I had everything the way I wanted it ahead of time on here. Website URL, address, tracking number. I think I had a description and stuff on here, and I might have taken it off. But knowing that I would need kind of a tagline and a description and stuff like that, I had that stuff so that I could just copy and paste it and go real quick. But this is like exactly, you know, I showed you my title tag. This is basically my title tag, although I added new construction, Phoenix, Arizona. Got the phone, got the office hours in. Make sure that your hours are the same. When you do Google My Business, everything starts here. So after you fill this out, make sure you at least then put the notes down on here. Hey, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Then I did weekends, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That way when you set up your Facebook and your citations, it's always the same. You want everything to match verbatim, exactly to the character, to the capital letter. For some reason, well, not for some reason, I wanted to make it obvious what the site was, so I capitalized my P, my D, and my P. And then you better believe I actually did that when I did my citations. This is how I pasted it in. Even down to that. Now, that probably would not make a difference if you did it one time and didn't do it next. It's still the same URL, but literally down to the capital letters, you want it to be the same. I added in all the cities. Like Dan said, I added every single city one by one in the training. I added about 29 photos. And then I don't touch this. I do not touch this until my postcard comes. You don't edit anything, okay? So that's what I wanted to say about that. After that, once I got submitted to Google, like Dan says in the training, you can either wait to do your citations or you can go ahead and do them. The gamble is that if for some reason the postcard doesn't come, or you get triggered and they deny you or something like that, you can't get it approved, well, then you just paid money or spent time or both getting all your citations done, and now the address you might need a new address. But I gambled and I like things to go fast. And like I said, I went with Yext. You don't have to go with Yext. They're the Cadillac of citations. I think they probably are overpriced. But anytime I've done a project before and used Yext, I've had very good results. So I don't like to deviate from what works. I understand for you, $500 is different than $500 for me, and I can appreciate that. So like Dan says in the training, you don't have to use Yext. If you have 500 and you know it's going to be a big money project, you might as well use the best. But Dan never does. You can use Whitespark. You can use Moz Local. You can do them yourself. You could teach someone else how to do them and pay them $1 or $2 per citation. It's up to you. It probably doesn't matter. I think with Yext, what you get is you get a little bit more speed. I think that you could get the same results with Yext for free doing it yourself or for a lot cheaper elsewhere, but it doesn't seem to be as fast, and I like speed. So, you know, don't freak out and think, oh, the only way it can work is if you use $500 for Yext. Yext has different packages. Keep that in mind. If you do use Yext, I use the $499 per year one. It's like the second from the highest level you can do. Okay, there's 2 levels below it. I use the $499 one, just so you know exactly what I've done. Okay, now Yext gets you in about 66. That's not that much. Some people have 100, 150. But again, my thought is that if I have even 60, really all the highest quality ones done right, done fast, I still think I'm going to dominate pretty much any local niche. I really do. So we'll see how that plays out. This is what it looks like on the inside when you sign up for an account. Basically, it's going to just start quizzing you and asking you questions. Okay, it's going to just ask you one question after the next, and you just want to fill out the details. So you can see here, I took my notes, and then I just copied and pasted. It asked for my business name. I pasted in Pool Deck Phoenix. It asked for the address. I pasted in exactly what I put into Google. This right here, I made sure it was exactly the same, to the comma, to spelling out suite, to a space between here. It's got to be exactly the same. I cannot stress that enough. If you have inaccuracies from one citation to the next, Google says one thing and then this says STE, even though your mail would literally end up at the same spot, and that's both are correct, it literally is not as good as having it exact. Okay. Ask for my pool name, ask for categories. I put in the same categories that I found in Google. Concrete contractors, swimming pool resurfacing, swimming pool contractors, paving contractors. How did I find those? Well, one was common sense. I started spelling swimming pool and saw what come up. Another one is I just went to Success Leaves Clues. I just went to another big city that I knew this would be a big niche. And I went to the maps listings and I clicked on there. And I clicked on the first listing. Obviously, they're doing well in a competitive market, so they're doing something right. Boom, concrete contractor. I went to the next one. Construction company. I went to the next one. Concrete contractor. And I did this for a couple cities. It took about a minute. And I found that the people in the top 3 spaces usually went with concrete contractor, pool resurfacing, paving contractor, and he does do all this. He does concrete and he does paving, so it's perfect. All right, so that's how I got my categories. I pasted in the address. I did this according to Dan's training. Yext, if you buy the $499 one, they do let you kind of have a little promo deal there, and I just did what I did on my website. Click here to save 5% on any pool deck project, and then I linked, because I'll probably have a link on most of these citations to, and see how, again, the exact same. P is capitalized, D is capitalized, P is capitalized. So I put it in exactly the same as I put it into Google. So it's the same everywhere. Hours, exactly the same. Business description, exactly the same as I put it into Google. And then this is kind of cool. So for the places that allow this, Yext puts this in for you. And this you can put a URL. So most of them are going to be clickable through to my homepage anyway. So rather than put 2 links to my homepage, I click this to my About page. Okay, and on the About page, I talked about 5% discount. Okay, so that's, now I kind of get 2 links in to my site to 2 different pages, which I think is more beneficial than 2 links to the same page. Payment methods, whatever, that doesn't really matter. Contact email, again, that same Gmail that I set up, I use that everywhere. Business logo, I use the same profile pic for every account I set up. For my Google My Business listing, for Yext, which means every citation will have that as a profile pic. When I made the YouTube and the Facebook page, use that as well. Photos, same photos, uploaded them, keyword rich, uploaded every single one of them. And the only thing specific to Yext that I want to tell you about, if you do the $4.99 plan like I did, and again, you might not use Yext, and that's totally fine, but with Yext specifically, what I did and what I would suggest you do is, once you fill out all the information, just everything it asks you, just keep filling it out, It'll walk you right through it. What's your name? Submit. What's your tagline? Submit. Do you want to offer products and services? I would fill out as much as you possibly can. Yext asks you, do you want to feature any products and services? I was like, I don't want to, but I will, because it's more stuff to add. So, let's see if I can find that. Products and services. Here's what I did. Keywords. Go figure. I added one product and service called Pool Deck Repairs. I added a picture for it, and then wrote a keyword-rich description, from fixing cracks to non-slip coating to repainting and more, blah, blah, blah. I added another one, pool deck resurfacing, another one, pool deck remodeling. This is the type of, attention to detail and going that extra mile that no one else is going to do. It took 5 extra minutes, but I did it. I added 3 services with my 3 main keywords and then wrote unique, keyword-rich descriptions and uploaded a picture. That's something specific to Yext. Bios. Didn't want to do it, didn't really know what to do, but I took the time to do it anyways because you might as well fill it out as complete as possible. Remember, this is all work that I'm going to do one time and then set it and forget it and never think about it again, and it might pay me for the rest of my life. So of course I want to go the extra mile. Of course I got to suck it up and be willing to outwork everyone else. So I uploaded him. Of course, if you don't know this, be creative. If I didn't have him, I would upload a picture of me and say, Brad works here. He's the internet marketing manager. That's a true statement. Look at what else I did. Phoenix, AZ's best pool deck contractors. Phoenix, Arizona's #1 pool deck pro. Always getting different variations of keywords in there. Always, always, always. I'm out optimizing everyone. I'm a big believer that if you do your content right, and of course all the due diligence beforehand so that you're in the right niche to begin with and in the right city, then you do your content, your website, your homepage correct and crush it there. Then you do your Google My Business listing correct and your citations correct. Remember, Google My Business is a citation. It's just that it's the most important, and you usually start there and then do all the others after that one. If you do your citations correct, in this case, use Yext or whatever you use and fill it out as completely and thoroughly as possible. And then you do what I'm about to show you, a Facebook page, a YouTube channel, and then even just 1 or 2 influence links. What I'm saying is on-page optimization is so much more meaningful at a local level when the competition is low. Like, you could optimize the hell out of stuff when you're trying to rank on an international level and you're still nowhere to be found. But with this, there's a reason why the first day I was indexed with a 1-page website. And by the way, that first day, 3 days after I made the site, when I was instantly on page number 3 for this keyword term, it was above his site, and he's had his site for like 10 years. Okay? So a 1-page brand new website with no authority was ranking above his, I would guess, multi-million-dollar. Now, he's got a lot of overhead, but I know it's a multi-million-dollar business. And he's got an aged, authoritative website, 10 years old, but because there's no optimization and he hasn't done any of these basic things correct, I was instantly ahead of him. Just think about that. 10 years, what it's taken him to do, I leapfrogged him in 1 day of work. By knowing this, by knowing the skills we're teaching you inside of Job Killing. Guys, this is powerful stuff. There are millions and millions of dollars on the other side of these projects. Millions and millions of dollars that you can generate by doing this stuff correctly and wanting it more than everyone else. Okay? So, Yext, it's very easy. You sign up and then they just start questions. What's this? What's this? Do you want to add bios? You just keep answering yes, and you figure it out and add something. It doesn't even matter if it's that cool or anything. It's as long as you're filling it out, it's going to be more complete than everyone else's. The one thing that I didn't really know is I didn't do any events. Maybe that's something I'll do later. So that is that. And then the one thing that I wanted to do is, once you get it all filled out, it automatically starts doing these. So Fiverr Live, those Fiverr Live, it's processing 58, okay? It does all the most important ones, Yelp, all that good stuff. Once in a while you might, okay, Foursquare, it said that there was not a category for this type of business, so I was like, okay, no big deal, whatever. Maybe I'll go back to Foursquare and try to make one, I don't know, probably not. But here's what I did. I went to the 2 that I wanted to, because otherwise, if Yext does your Facebook page and your Google My Business, they're going to fill it out. Well, I already had the Google My Business filled out, so I didn't need them to try to submit another one. That might have caused problems. So I just went down to all statuses, and I went below Google My Business, and I just clicked opt out. And now it's listed as opted out, meaning now it's not going to try to submit to these 2. And I did the same thing for Facebook, because Facebook, what it's trying to do is whatever you fill out here, it'll just automatically post that to Facebook. So it's just a lot of duplicate content. It's not what I think is the best. I think it's easier to manage your Facebook and your Google My Business, and those are probably like two of the most important things, or can be if you use them right. Definitely this is, but this can be important too if you use it right, in terms of ranking it and being keyword rich and stuff like that. So I want to do those myself. So I opted out of both of those, and then I let all the others do their thing. And it takes, they said, 3 to 5 business days to start being live everywhere. It's been about 2 full business days, and there are 5 live. Okay, so if you do that at the beginning of the week or midweek, they should all pretty much be live by the end of the week. I did mine on a Saturday night, so we're at Tuesday midday, and it's, now they're starting to go live. Okay, so that's just notes on Google My Business, staying organized, all that good stuff. The other thing that, of course, I did was I made a Facebook page and a YouTube channel, which is just easy and obvious. I created a new Facebook account under this Gmail, use the same password that I use for the Gmail, and then from in here, I was logged in, and I believe I did this, and I did create page. Okay, I created my page. I called it the name of my website. If that's open, that's what you want to do. So Pool Deck Phoenix, and then I filled it out. Again, I tried to find the same categories that I used in all the other citations. Sometimes Facebook is a little bit different. They don't have the same categories, so I did the best I could. Concrete contractor, swimming pool, paving and asphalt service, good enough. I liked it. I went under settings, and I went to, the hell did I go to? I went to, I don't know why this looks different now. I went to one of these. Let's see what this does. All right, I'm an idiot. So you gotta be careful. If you're using Facebook as your personal profile, it doesn't give you the options to edit the page. So I was using it as Pete, not as Pool Deck Phoenix. So you go to here and you go to use page as, and I had to click on Pool Deck Phoenix. Now that I'm Pool Deck Phoenix, when I go to settings, go to page info, and go down here. Same thing. I want to use the same description. I want to use this, copy and paste the same address, the same phone. I want to add the same hours, and then I go to page info. And the only thing I did here was I added a custom URL so that it was keyword rich, because I want to try to rank this. So instead of blah, 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 it's facebook.com/pooldeckphoenix. So I clicked on get a custom thing and said, are you sure? And then it's like, you got to verify it. So what did I do? With Facebook, I believe they text you. So with Facebook, I just used my cell phone, and they texted me a code. I entered the code, and then I was able to call the page what I wanted. It was open, and I clicked save, and now my URL became this. But you got to verify it because they'll text you a code. And that's basically it. And then I added a cover. I just took a screenshot of the picture I used on my site. You want everything to be congruent. I used the same profile pic that I used on all of my citations and Google My Business, so that it's the same look and feel everywhere. Pool Deck Phoenix. The URL is the same, Pool Deck Phoenix. And then I took a screenshot of that call button and put that in the upper right corner. You don't really need to put any wording on your picture because Facebook already puts this over it automatically. So I think that looks nice. You just take a screenshot of your page and upload it. And then you can add that if you want. Don't really need to because the phone number will be down there. And then, of course, I added the profile pic. It automatically puts that in your timeline. I added the cover pic. It automatically puts that in your timeline. And then what I did was I filmed a video, okay? Because I want to be everywhere. I want to be on all the high authority sites. And I want a YouTube presence. Now, I didn't really know what to put on a video because, pool decking I know nothing about. So what I did was I took a screencast video of the website. So you can use a free tool like Jing, or if you have, I use Camtasia. I've had it for like 5 years. It costs, but I think there's a free 30-day trial, and you can take a video recording of your desktop and speak into it. So I made a site treating this like it's my business, because it is. And I said, hey, welcome to Pool Deck Phoenix. I just wanted to make a quick video here and tell you about our new website. You can find it at www.pooldeckphoenix. So I acted like a company who just made a new website that they're proud of, and I made a video announcing the launch of it, and I showed it on video and talked about what you could expect to find on the video and why you should go visit it now. Okay? Once I had that video filmed, and then of course I saved it to my desktop, and I called it something keyword rich, like Pool Deck Phoenix resurfacing website or something like that. And then I created a YouTube channel. So how you create a YouTube channel? Oh, okay, I did two things. First, you take the MP4 file that's just on your desktop and you upload straight to Facebook, to your Facebook page, so that it's in Facebook video format. Okay, this is not a YouTube video. I just clicked photo video and I uploaded a video, and you just drag and drop the .mp4 or whatever type of file it is, and it'll upload it and make it into a video, and then you can say something about it. Okay, so I did that so that the Facebook starts to get filled out with keyword optimized multimedia high quality content. And then I wanted the video on YouTube as well. So what did I do? Well, if you're logged into your Gmail account, when you make a Gmail account, you automatically get all the other accounts with it. So as long as you're logged in here, then you just make sure you're in the right account. Then you go to YouTube, and then you go to My Channel. And then the first time you do this, it'll say use YouTube as though it's asking you a question, and it'll say, do you want it under your personal profile or your business name? Because remember, you already submitted your Google My Business, and even though it's not verified, it knows that that listing is in there. So I chose the business. I clicked on Pool Deck Phoenix. I want the channel to be under Pool Decks Phoenix, not under Pete. So it automatically created the channel. And then same thing here. I hovered over this and I added a profile picture. Look at there. It's the exact same profile picture. Look at the, do you want clip art? Yes, edit. Edit clip art, channel art, whatever. Upload a picture. What did I do? I uploaded a screenshot from my website of that exact same picture. So no matter where you go, it's always the same look, the same feel, the same branding. Okay? Look at the description. Does that look familiar? It should. It's the same description I used everywhere else. So once I did that, and the only other thing I did, I went to options and I went to advanced settings. And here's what I did. I picked country. This is important. Pick the country that you're in, okay, because it was set to like Afghanistan or whatever the first one was, A. So I picked the country, and then I added keywords to the channel. I put mine in quotes, which makes it more of a phrase match. So I put Pool Deck in quotes and then a space, and then Phoenix, and then I put Pool Deck Repairs, Pool Deck Resurfacing, Pool Deck Contractors Phoenix. Okay, so you put 3 or 4 keywords in there. I like to put them in quotes. I think I put Phoenix in quotes, and it took it off once I saved it, because I don't know, maybe cities, it does that. So I selected my country, I put in my keywords. I like to deselect this so that there are no advertisements alongside my videos, so they can focus on me. And then what I did was I hit save. You can add your website here if you want to. It's not really necessary unless you're going to go and add an annotation on top of the video and link to it, which you can do. But if you want to insert your domain there and verify it, it'll give you, actually, let me show you how to do that. Let's see. If you go to channel, status, and features, when you go right here, I believe at first it'll say not verified. And then to do things like custom thumbnails, which I suggest you do, which I did, and longer videos, to open up those options, which are not available to you by default, you need to verify your account. So you click verify, and with YouTube, unless I'm getting these confused, one of them, Facebook, I think, texts you and YouTube calls you. Okay? So with YouTube, very simple. What do you do? Because if you use the same number on like one or more than one account, they'll say, no, that account's already been, you've already got too many YouTube channels or whatever. So it's very simple. You have a new tracking phone number for each project. So you use your tracking phone number since it's calling you anyways, and you put in your tracking phone number. So I use 602-833-0788 because I've already got my cell phone. They wouldn't let me use my cell phone. And then what they do is you enter it and click submit, and it'll call you instantly. Of course, your tracking number is probably still, it should still be set up to your home phone at this time. So you answer, and then it's going to give you an automated code. You enter the code and click verify. Now you're verified, and that unlocks all these other features. Okay, which the main one I wanted was custom thumbnails. Okay, so that's what I did to optimize my channel. I verified the account, I put the country and the keywords, and then I went and uploaded my video. I uploaded my video, and as it was uploading, I filled out all the details. So I called the title of the video, Pool Deck Repairs Resurfacing Phoenix, Arizona, keyword rich. Then I added keywords below it. I did like 3 or 4 or 5 keywords: pool deck repair, pool deck resurfacing, Phoenix, Arizona, you know, the obvious stuff. Then I put a long description. Okay, visit our website. I linked to the website, same as I linked to it everywhere else, capital P, capital D, capital P. I worked in a lot of different keywords in different cities, and I treated this like another citation. So I put another citation in there, and then I put the phone number. So now everywhere Google's looking, they're seeing this show up everywhere, and it's consistent. It's the exact same every time. Okay, so that's definitely a good look for your business. And then you can see for the thumbnail of the pic, again, I took a screenshot of the picture I wanted, and then I overlaid text on it. On a Mac, the preview editor lets you do that. You can draw, type on it, whatever. So I saved a screenshot, and then I went to Tools, View Markup Tool, Show Markup Toolbar, and then I clicked on text, and I put text on there, and I selected impact or whatever, and I made it big and white so you could see it. And then I took a screenshot of that call button again and drug that on there and centered it. And I wanted it big and clear so that because my goal is to rank this video on YouTube as well. Okay, so when videos show up on YouTube, it's going to be about this size. So I want them to see we do pool decks. If they're searching for pool deck repair, I want them to be like, oh, well, that's for me. So everything is planned out for total domination. Okay, you got to be meticulous and careful. You got to get it the same, get it right, be thorough, be comprehensive every single time. Try to get the same look across, but none of this is hard. It's just an extra minute or two here or there. Okay, and interestingly enough, as soon as I publish this video, and I'm logged into YouTube right now, so let me log out. Oops. If I could click the right button. Okay, so I'm not signed in. I'm in a private browser. And again, to see how important optimization is and how easy local is when you do the optimization correctly, what's my main keyword? Remember, pool, deck, resurfacing. I'm probably going to have to type in Phoenix because it's not going to know I'm in Phoenix. Do a search. All right, those are paid ads. 1, 2, 3, I'm 4th. You can see 1 day ago. Submitted, made Facebook and YouTube. So I did all this the same day. I purchased UPS box. I came home. I did the Google My Business. And then I made the Facebook and YouTube channel. And then I did citations. I did all of that in one afternoon. And then the next day, I made and published the YouTube video on 3/20. Even though it's 3/22, I don't know why it says 1 day ago. I think I did this on 3/20 though. But instantly, it was right in the mix. Okay, so Google thinks this is the 4th most relevant video for my #1 keyword term, and that happened within like 5 minutes of publishing it. This is why you might as well take advantage of video. Like Dan said, you might not necessarily get a ton of leads or calls, but it's another property that takes up space and that stays in front of the best buyers. Why wouldn't you do it? It's not going to hurt. Might not get a ton of leads, but if you can rank that on page 1, it blocks a competitor from ranking their website. What about second most important keyword? Pool deck repair. Look at there. Add. I think I typed that wrong. Pool deck repair Phoenix, #1. This is the most relevant video for my second most important keyword. Think about that. There could be $500,000 a year in business, in Google organic, at least for that keyword. And all I did was take a screencast video of my website. It's not even me talking on the video. This is how easy it is to just wreck shop in the local markets. It's so easy to dominate. Like, I just can't believe this is what's exciting, because I've been competing at the international level for so long that you make a video and you make 100 more videos and you link them all together and build links to them and optimize them, and 6 months later you're still buried under tens of thousands of other videos. But local, this guy runs a multi-million-dollar business, and look at this. If he did as many videos as we did for job killing, he would be everywhere. And you could do that for a business owner, and maybe I'll do that for him, but I at least want one. So my goal is to rank this page, rank this video and or my channel, and have, the website. I want to go to Google, okay, and I want to search for my main keyword. I can't spell today. And now he's already running ads, so I don't know if it'll be, although he might not have his that well optimized. So ideally I'd be like number one position here with a coupon, eventually number one position here, website here, and then maybe I can push up some of my highest powered citations like my Yelp listing, and then my video will beat out this guy. Then I'll have a video here, and then maybe I'll let someone else play a little bit, and then maybe I'll put my Facebook page there. Not that I can pick exactly where it goes, but you get what I'm saying. I want to own like 50% of page one, so that they could close their eyes and no matter where they click, there's about a 50-60% chance. I mean, that's domination, as opposed to just getting their website right here. No, when you're number one and you run an AdWords coupon and you're number one there, and you're number one in Google Maps, and you're number one in the organic, and you got maybe a Yelp listing, a YouTube video, and a Facebook page, all now we're talking, that's almost 50% of the first page. Now, what does that do? Not only does that get more eyeballs to your site, which has to get more leads, and blocks your competitors at the same time, and makes it so that people are window shopping and price shopping, end up going with you anyways, and they might even think it's different sites if they see, and then maybe you can get the customer site up here too. But from a conversion standpoint, what do you think when you see someone dominate to that extent? When no matter where you look, it's that same, oh, there's Pool Deck Phoenix again. No matter what I search for, there's Pool Deck Phoenix. It shows that they're the biggest player in the game. And consciously or subconsciously, you want to always go with the best, okay? So there's something to showing up. It gives you so much credibility and authority. You could be a brand new business. It could be me at home behind my computer, not even having a pool deck company, not even knowing anything about it, and yet I look like the most legit player in the business because of the marketing, okay? So I think that's all I wanted to cover in this video. It was a long one, but just important stuff. I want to walk you through all of this, kind of talk you through my thought process, the order I do everything. This is it. Start the project, get the tracking phone number, get the homepage made and published so that it can get indexed, add any other pages you want, and then you can always come back and add service pages and different cities and stuff like that if you want, if the project calls for it. Get your UPS box as quickly as possible. As soon as you have that, submit to Google My Business. As soon as you do that, I like to go ahead and make the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Then I like to do citations, do them however you want. Just make sure everything's the same. Keep an eye out for that Google My Business card. Obviously, don't edit your profile until that comes. And then I like to go ahead and fill out the Facebook page a little bit, upload that video to the Facebook video player, upload that video, take a screencast video, upload that video to YouTube, optimize the channel, verify the Facebook page. And then from there, we go on and we start doing our backlinks and our influence and stuff like that. But this is, we'll see how much, quote unquote SEO influence stuff this takes. I think when you do this thorough of a job and optimize this well, you're going to be surprised at how few backlinks you need. I really think that my work is most of the way done. That's not to say I won't keep working hard, because I think there's big money in this project, and I want to change this guy's life. My goal is to make him. I should have put a goal for my customer. This is kind of selfish. Not that, I mean, of course we're in this to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm a believer that if you get your mind right, you'll get your grind right. And I believe that if you're in this to truly like change their life, you can't not make big money. But if you're in this just to get yourself money and do the bare minimum work, you could not make money, because, not because of karma, because if you're not working hard at something, it probably won't produce very big results. And if it doesn't produce very big results, no one's going to want to pay you. So it's just kind of the way things work. But truly, in my heart, I'm like, dude, I'm going to make this guy another $1 million, and that's going to make me worth a ton of money. If I can make him another $1 million, I don't know what his margins are. I'll have to figure that out. Obviously, that's not, he's got big expenses with employees and accounting, and he probably subcontracts some stuff out, and trucks and equipment and, liability, insurance and stuff like that. But still, if I can make him another $1 million a year, and he takes home an extra, $200,000, $250,000 in his pocket, you telling me I'm not worth $60K, So that's my mindset. Crush it for him, and I'll get what I deserve. And we'll keep it going from there. In the next video, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how I linked to those properties first, and why, and the thought process behind that. I'm going to show you how I plan out and carry out and track all of my different influence and my links and my SEO and rankings and all that stuff. So we'll see you in the next one. Peace.